Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Guten Morgen. I love the way it just trips off your tongue, the Instagram, so easily now.
No, yeah, it was
So
it was
trendy.
alien to me at first, but it's great. It's like when you get a hire car and it feels like you've never driven before, and then, you know, a few miles down the road you just think you're not thinking about it anymore. Great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Frank, would you like to hear from Tracy Morgan, who's been in touch?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
No, go on, let's hear
Tracy
it.
Morgan, the American comedy star. Is it Tracy Morgan?
There is a male bloke called Tracy, isn't there?
Oh,
Yeah.
you got that right. Yeah.
This
It's near
is
enough.
Probably not that.
This is from
Individual.
Twitter. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. Catching up with last week's podcast, I heard you talk about sight tests. Get this, I'm blind in one eye. I like that she started with get this. I'm blind.
I should say, by the way, before you say that, what we were talking about is
Yes.
the monocle. And if you were,
Of course.
if you've got a problem in one eye, not Mon Oncle, the Jacques Tati movie, which is a movie that's always been a thing. It's very close. You should be able to work out French if my uncle is Mon Oncle.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't seem fair to me that if you've only got a problem with one eye and you have a monocle, you should have to pay as much as you would for a pair of spectacles. And people have texted in and said yes. In fact, they said monocles were more expensive in some cases.
Yeah.
Seem
Come on.
It's really important the work we're doing
It is. Well, I think
regarding monocles.
as an activist, I
Yeah.
don't think people should be charged. Anyway, let's see what
It's
Tracy
the
Morgan...
consumer part of our show, which we take seriously.
That comic, I don't think it was Morgan.
Tracy
Anyway, carry on
Okay.
with Tracy
Okay.
Morgan.
Island. Get this, I'm blind in one eye,
Yeah.
so only one eye is tested,
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
yet I have to pay full price for the test, as I'm not classed as partially sighted, not even half price.
What?
Tracy, that is absolutely
No,
disgusting.
that's just not right. They're doing half
Yeah.
the work.
No. The monocle campaign, it starts here.
I mean,
Yeah.
how can you not be partially sighted, though? Like, that's the bit that's amazing to me.
I think
Got one working eye.
I'm not going to offer. I was going to offer them a definition of partially sighted, like I knew exactly what, like I had the WHO
Yeah.
regulations in front of me.
Yes.
No, that seems unfair, Tracy. I think you
Yeah.
should pick it or
Exactly.
something. Stand outside and get.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
Yeah.
Very activism-based today, aren't you?
Yeah, this is. I'm going to be one of those people who has comedian activist as my
excellent.
Twitter handle. If I had a Twitter handle, yeah. The handle keeps coming off my sieve. If that's any news to anyone,
I'll tell
very
you
annoying.
what you'd do if you were on
Is that
Twitter.
some actual truth?
That's truth.
Does it?
There isn't
I hate
enough.
it when
There
that
isn't enough of
happens.
that on breakfast radio.
Civ News.
Do you know I had a collapsed sieve recently?
I wonder what
my.
that was going to be. Did you? I thought, what went?
I was holding the sieve, and you know they have the two little iron handles either side.
Wasn't that a Rolf Harris song?
Oh, yeah. Some of them have just one
Little
handle.
Lion. Yeah.
Mine had two, and one of the handles came clean off. There was pasta everywhere. So I'm just saying, be careful.
Well, since we're on this topic, I don't think any of us expected the writers to go in this avenue today.
No.
I've recently had to replace a wok because the non-stick surface was coming off and into the food. I thought it was black pepper for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Wow,
Still?
I love that you're still using a wok.
Yeah, that is the most 80s thing you've ever said. You sure it wasn't a bit of burnt cassette tape that had gone in there? Oh, what? I remember when we got a wok, and it was really quite a thing.
They're great.
In about 85?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
What's wrong with woks?
It's
look,
great.
nice wok if you can get it.
Oh, goodness.
That would have slotted in a treat to Joanna Lumley's monologue.
Get your weekly Frank fix. Listen to the show as it happens on Saturday morning from 8 until 11 with more music and fewer ads with the Absolute Radio app.
I entertained last night. I don't mean on stage. I mean at home.
Oh, lovely.
Me and Kat don't do that very often.
Did you have a dinner party or a house
I'm
party?
calling it our version of a dinner party. We
Lovely.
had David Baddiel and Moena Banks came round, our neighbours.
Yeah.
Well, they live up in the same road.
Yeah.
And David bought takeaway.
Nice.
Did he? What did he go? Did he go to the nice
We
Indian?
went to Paradise,
Oh, you love
which
Paradise.
is the local very nice. I don't know if you know this, but we when we moved into when you move into a house and they say, the person selling it says stuff like, do you want me to leave the...
Oh, yeah.
And you give them a few extra quid and they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They left, the lady we bought the house of left we paid her for this beautiful wooden dining table, chunky, really solid thing. It's brilliant. Kath never liked it, but I really liked it. In the end, Kath sold it. She sold it for, probably a tenth of what it was worth. And it went. So we didn't have a table to eat off
All right.
for about 2 years. This is what people think of what is showbiz like.
Yeah.
Didn't have a table. And then for Christmas, because we were having people around for Christmas, well, I still call it Christmas dinner, but it's at lunchtime.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm not going to get a big table for Christmas, I bought a pasting table.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know those things that you...
Yeah.
Oh,
you
like in
paste-
school when you do, yeah.
No, you paste wallpaper on.
You fold out a leg and then sort of stick it and fold out the other one.
Well, I
That
stand in various positions.
Can I ask you a question? How much is a pasting table?
It wasn't much. It's like
50 quid?
40 quid.
Brilliant.
It's great, obviously, if you're a person who applies butter to a slice of bread with gusto. It's made for it. Or basting, any kind of elaborate basting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of swing. Anyway, we've still got the Christmas tablecloth
Yeah.
on it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Good.
It's honestly the way we live. And
Very temporary feel.
yeah, it is very temporary. I think when you get to my age, temporary is temporary chic. So anyway, we had them round, and it was a very nice night. But I'm a little self-conscious about the pasting table because it's noticeable.
I
Is
imagine
it?
you bantered your way around this.
Oh, I mean, I use it as a prop in many ways.
So, when you say self-conscious, do you cover it with a nice tablecloth?
Well, it's covered with a Christmas table.
Oh, with the
Christmas one.
Christmas, yeah. But do you put flowers on and make it look decorative? No,
No,
it's not your way.
No, we don't do that. With the takeaway, we didn't take them out of the cartons.
Didn't you?
Oh, we did, actually. We had plates and cartons, but we didn't put them in,
It's a good
Yeah.
system.
But I'll tell you what it reminded me of. I introduced, I have new readers should know I have a 6-year-old child, and I introduced him to his first ever deck chair.
Oh, nice.
And he was a little unsure of it because they don't look like they take the human weight.
There is jeopardy to them.
If you've
as
never
well.
seen one, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're a bit geometric,
Yes.
rather than furniture-like. Anyway, it's always good showing kids, that when obviously we're a bit used to deck chairs in this country. I regard deck chairs as a commonplace. But he was kind of slightly blown away by it and wanted to know why we didn't have them at home.
Oh, I see.
And he said to me, the great thing is when the material gets too filthy, you can get rid of it. And I thought, well, that's a fair summary of my career. In fact, I like to think that the deck chair is a metaphor for having faith in your material. But anyway, he said, well, why do you have them in the house? You can change the material when it gets dirty, and you can fold them away. So if you get guests, you can get more out.
Yeah. Or if you want to wrestle in the living room, like
exactly, or dance.
Yeah, or
Like
dance.
like when our Nora used to roll the carpet up and put beer on the floor for twisting.
Brilliant.
I don't know why they put vomit. I think that was accidental. But I hadn't got any good answers. Why
As
don't
to
we?
why they're not
Why
commonplace
don't we
in the
have
home?
deck chairs in our homes? Anyway, if anyone...
Because I think, I would find it a little depressing, I think.
Well,
maybe.
if there's anyone listening who uses the deck chair as regular furniture, I'd love to hear from them.
Well, we've already heard from a few pasting table users.
Oh,
Well,
have we?
Yeah.
Gwen in
Gwen.
Plumstead, did you see that one out?
Gwen,
I
she's
would-
feeding 20 people at the pasting table.
Christmas dinner.
Well, see? We're all at it.
Game changer.
But I have not got an argument for why we don't just sit around the house on deck chairs. I think there'd be... whether I'd be able to resist a knotted handkerchief, I don't know. But then again, I never could.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a lot
I
of
like
deck
it.
chair news, haven't we?
Oh,
Al?
yeah.
We have had a bit.
Jason Bardeen, I don't know. Deck chairs, have always been scared of them. Most dangerous thing in the world. # finger guillotine.
In the world?
Yeah. I don't know why, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's harsh on the
I
deck
think
chair.
that's overstating it.
I can see the finger guillotine
In the
argument.
world.
I'll tell you,
If you
know
have
that
one
thing
bad
is-
experience... Sorry,
I mean,
Frank.
you're comparing it to the guillotine, which is more dangerous than the deck chair, I'm sure.
Go on, Em.
I was just going to say, if you have one bad experience with something, then that's it for life. Staplers with me. And I think...
But I love women. I'm very wary of men who say they love women. Are you? What does that mean exactly?
It means they treat them badly.
It's like saying,
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it does. Whenever the people go, I think sometimes it does.
but it's like saying I
I
love.
mean, I love women. I've got so
weather.
many female friends. I love women.
Right.
I actually prefer women.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
I
it?
mean, yeah. That is suggesting, isn't it, that they're all the same.
It is,
Yeah?
which they're not.
Anyway,
240 has got in touch. When we moved into our first flat, whilst waiting for furniture, we used sun lounger and deck chairs. It was like a beach scene as we had beige carpet. Very good.
what I would have got is a couple of starfish. You get those from some of those fancy shops.
I'm glad you said that.
When me and David Baddiel first moved into...
Your flat?
well, actually, it wasn't when we first moved in. He moved and I moved with him, is what happened.
Oh, is that right?
And it was just before Christmas, and he bought a big telly, a massive telly, at a time when they were quite rare, big tellies. And he thought that if you bought furniture, it's arrived the next day, but often it's like weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had we had Christmas food in the flat, but the only furniture, we sat and watched the telly on the cardboard box that the telly had come in. But it makes you wonder, do we need furniture?
A lot of it's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, if I had 3 beanbags, that would suit me for the rest of my life.
Well, we've had some texts in. A text from Paul in Worthy Down, who's in praise of the beanbag. Isn't a front room with deck chairs in it a Wendy house, he asks. And then I find a couple of beanbags in the front room hugely entertaining to watch people get out of after an evening of drinking. And it's easy to store.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to say, if you've got the bean bags, you should go over to Owl's with the wok. Because it's a lovely 80s scene going on there.
Well, it's not as easy to store as a deck chair. I'm still fighting for the deck chair. If I lived alone, I'd happily have deck chairs.
You're not too concerned about your spine, are you? Because for me, what puts me off deck chair and beanbag is I like to be held. I like to be held
I like
upright.
to be held.
Do you?
I haven't been held since the 90s.
619 has texted, as an osteopath, I would suggest the non-back-friendly deck chair has been its downfall.
Yes.
No, but if you put it on the top notch...
Oh, had enough
Yeah.
of experts. Listen to the man. Listen to the osteopath.
Michael Gove over there.
I don't think osteopathy has quite made its way into standard medical practice. Has it? It's still a bit... Isn't it still a bit borderline?
I think people say that.
Yeah.
I personally...
forgive me, but I still think he knows more than you about the spine. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've met more people who have got continuing injuries from osteopaths than I have continuing injuries from deck chairs.
That's a good point, me
Well, that's
too.
good. I can't imagine anyone will get in touch about that view. So thanks for that, Frank.
Look, it's anecdotal, but it's I give you guys the truth always. That's what, there was that time I pretended my mum worked for Ian Fleming as a cleaner, golden eye.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was clearly a flight of fancy. But I think, I know.
And you told your mother-in-law the car had been stolen as a April Fool's joke.
That was April 1st. Then you can say what you like, April 1st.
Different rules apply.
God, if I was a world leader on April 1st, I'd scare the hell out of people.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
We've had an email entitled Wok News.
Oh, yeah.
Don't knock the wok. My daughter recently gave me a wok.
Ho.
Don't knock the
Wasn't
wok.
it Kershaw?
My daughter recently gave me a wok she won at bingo. Yes, they are that unpopular. They're giving rubbish like this out at bingo. And then they add, I do actually use it.
Yeah.
Slightly confusing message there.
Well, it's interesting because I was shocked when you said you had one, but I wouldn't. I would use one. I don't know what. I forgot what you use them for now.
Stir fry.
Yes.
Oh, very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
yeah, I'm not
effective.
anti-wok. Wasn't there a thing with woks that you had to burn? You're supposed to start by burning them, and they're no good until they've been a bit burnt.
Yeah, I think that's the seasoning process,
And-
which actually applies to almost all
You're not
pans
allowed
you're
to
meant
wash them either, are you? That's the other thing.
Can't wash a wok. There
feel the
must
same
be
about-
an American
mother.
1950s novelty song called "You Can't Wash a Wok in a."
My mother once
Something.
saw me washing it. She went, "Darling, you don't wash woks," and you had to clean it with oil. That's
Yeah.
apparently the rule. But you know,
Yeah, I think so.
this is what I mean. There's so many rules with woks.
I didn't know they came with a lot of rules.
Oh, the
Yeah.
wooden
Oh,
handles.
many
That's
rules.
never. I don't like the wooden handles.
They're like Soviet Russia in that respect.
A lot of
Woks.
rules.
Yeah, a lot of rules.
So we've had 142. Hi, Frank. Don't you think that famous painting of Jesus Christ and the 12 apostles having the Last Supper looks like they're eating from a pasting table? That's from Paul the chauffeur.
It is certainly a long, thin table.
Well, I think that's to do with the perspective, isn't it?
You think?
Well, I think it's also, like in Neighbours, I'm sorry, Frank, to compare the Last Supper to a scene from Neighbours, but bear with me.
It's fine.
You know when they would go to Lassiter's, for example, in
Yeah.
Neighbours?
Yeah.
Let's say Paul Robinson had a meeting with someone.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the slightly cheap camera angles, they always have people sat on one side of the table, don't they?
Yeah.
Because it's only sort of a two-shot or something. So I think that's what's happened in the Last Supper.
But also,
Maybe.
you know when you get the waiter to take a photo of you at a dinner and you all have to lean in a
Yes.
weird way and you have to sort of stagger yourself. You know, if you can see the camera can see you. You don't want the Last Supper looking like that with Jesus at the end and
Judas's little head peeking up.
yeah, Judas coming right across the others. Sorry if I was leaning across. That's why my voice went a bit quiet.
Judas would be doing the little, Churchill sign behind the head.
Would he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. You don't
Prankster.
want that. So they probably did the right thing of going for the long, thin table.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the way that he said that photo of Jesus and the 12 apostles having the Last Supper, as if I needed a little bit of. You remember the other week they described Adolf Hitler as the former leader of the Third Reich, just in case. Adolf Hitler, that rings a bell.
The other one.
Helen Jackman. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. Me and my partner had to eat our Christmas dinner on the pasting table as we moved house and had no table.
See,
We borrowed it from the landlord from the local pub. He even lent us some fold-up chairs.
Aw.
Put the tablecloth on. Who would know?
But there's something lovely about that, you see, because that's become people helping each other at
Community.
Christmas. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely. Beautiful
No
thing.
room at the inn, but
Oh.
you know, we can knock you up a manger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to pret a manger. Is that where manger comes from? Because you eat out of a manger. Does it come from the French word manger?
Yes.
But there couldn't have been any French influence in
Pret-a-manger.
in the Middle East in 2,000 years ago.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about where Pret-a-manger got its name from.
No, but is
Which is
the
obviously a
manger from the
ready-
same root as manger?
And other questions I never
Hey,
thought I'd be asked.
12:15. 8, 12, 15.
Keeping the commercial in commercial radio.
Well,
Can I ask you one other
mange is
food?
what foxes get, of course, isn't it? It's a disease.
Mange.
Yeah, but they don't eat out of mange, just eat out of bins.
I hope they don't eat out of yeah. They love a bin.
On the food subject, can I ask a food question?
Sure.
My favourite bit of an orange
Oh, yes.
is the inner secret orange that lives at the top behind the orange.
Oh, yes.
No, you know, there's like a little, there's like a mini orange that lives secretly in the attic of the orange.
Yes, Frank.
What is that? What is the secret orange?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a little orange hat.
It's lovely. It's sweeter than the other orange.
Why, Alan? You're looking at us.
You're looking at me. Am I eating the unborn children of oranges? That's the look you're
I'm
giving
not really
me.
seeing this bit of
You never
orange.
seen that?
I don't think I've seen
What?
it. I hate
Maybe
to
they
say
don't
no.
get them up north.
Yeah, it might be a north-south
Maybe
divider.
it's to do
Another-
with the climate down here.
You can't get
Another.
them in the walk.
It's like a mini orange that lives at the top of the orange. I say the top of the
lovely.
orange. Some may argue the bottom of the orange, but we all
Yeah.
know instinctively what the top of the orange is.
I mean, I think I see it. I don't even know if I eat that bit. Should I be eating that bit?
It's the best bit.
It's the best bit. All right, I'll give it
It's
a go.
like ignoring the artichoke heart.
What?
Yeah, or not eating the knot from the base of a thistle.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We've had some news in about your special oranges, Frank.
My secret inner orange.
Yeah.
We should all, I think, explore our inner orange. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, apparently, well, someone has said, 828 has said, I always call that mini orange the Parsons orange.
Oh, as in the parson's nose?
Yeah, as I assumed it was on the bottom, not the top. And then we've got 245, the secret orange is under the navel in navel oranges. The bigger the navel, the sweeter the orange.
I've often thought that.
That's good to know.
Yeah, but I don't know why it exists as an inner orange.
Well, that we haven't had answered.
No.
But bear with, it'll come in. 566, Simon, our Cotswolds art dealer, who's
hello.
often in touch with matters of
Oh,
intelligentsia, I
yes,
might say.
Absolutely charming.
Morning all, re-pret-a-manger and French influence in Romano Judea.
Wow.
I suspect that the
Good
French
heading.
weren't around Bethlehem at the time of
No.
Jesus, but
Yes.
perhaps the biblical stories were transcribed in French and Latin during the Middle Ages. It would also explain some of the names. It's unlikely that a bronzed-aged follower of Jesus was called Simon, Peter or Paul. All the best, Simon.
Huh.
Good info.
That's good. I don't know
Did
if
you
we
like
actually
Frank?
got to the bottom of it, but you know,
But also Frank's slightly defensive reaction.
I felt like-
It was a bit swallowed a dictionary for breakfast.
No, I'm very happy with people who've swallowed the dictionary.
I know you are.
I tell you, I was just thinking about when, you know, when I was talking about the tablecloth on the pasting table,
Yeah.
Yes.
and a tablecloth, you'll agree, covers a multitude of blemishes and burns,
Yes.
cup rings, and all the rest of it. And there used to be a thing that I think I was thinking about woks when people would get a not very nice sofa, and they'd say, "Well, we can always get a lovely throw." Mm-hmm. I love that it was called a throw
Yeah.
because you threw it over the sofa.
A throw, it's still very much a throw.
It's very much named after the verb, and it's not
Yes.
like you throw it every day. It's it's retrospective. Do you remember
Really,
when
it should be
do you
called
remember the
thrown.
day we threw that? We actually threw the throw. That was a special day. But if it was called a land, that would make much
Right,
more
yeah,
sense
yeah.
because
Yes.
it's
A
been there
drape.
for ages. Yeah,
Yeah.
a remain.
It's permanently caught trapped in mid-action.
It is, yeah. It's like it's been defined by its initial
It's
arrival.
past. Don't define it by its past.
Yeah.
No.
It's not right, is it?
No.
It's like calling it a migrant or something
You're
like
right.
that because that's what it was when it arrived, but it's settled now. It's
Assimilated.
you know,
It's integrated.
Exactly. It shouldn't still be called a throw.
Question, do you have a throw?
I don't have a throw. No.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen your throw. Lovely.
I like the feel of feel of velour against bare flesh. I always have. That wasn't a joke. Anyway,
Just a fact.
no, it's, ours
Not
isn't
having
velour.
anyone-
It's sort of faux
Yours
leather.
is leather.
It's faux, I think.
You've got a Chesterfield.
Yeah, Yeah, but it's faux. I
Oh,
think
is it?
it's more of a Macclesfield.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I like things you can wipe.
Yeah.
That's what I think. You can't wipe for law.
And your habits.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, that's true. So we don't know what the inner orange is actually, but
We know it's it's exclusively belongs to the naval
I
oranges.
don't think we do know that.
I think
Oh,
we
I
do.
thought
That's why they're
somebody
called
said
naval,
that.
because it resembles a naval.
We established
Yeah.
we don't get them on an easy peeler,
Don't get them on an easy peeler. 532 has
which is
invited
not
us
a
round.
reference to that WPC I went at it in the 1980s.
532 has invited us round to try egg fried rice done in a wok. Lovely.
Where do they live?
Doesn't mention that.
Well, what kind of an invite is that?
We need more info.
No, that's like those
532.
posters you get for raves.
We've got to factor in journey time.
Yeah, there's just some strange names. You know where you're going, when it is,
Yeah.
how long it's going to last.
We might have work
Ticket
commitments. We
prices.
don't know if it's Aberdeen.
I like
No.
the fact that Faye, the youngest member of the team, laughed the most uproariously
At the rave?
material.
Yeah,
she
I
liked
was
that.
just, I mean,
It
yeah.
landed well with her.
Do they still exist? I don't know. If
Do they
yeah.
still
Yes.
exist?
It's just
Yeah, she's
a ca-
nodding.
It's just occurred to me now. It's a shame there wasn't some. If ABBA had got an extra member called Dean, it would have been. They would have changed their name to Aberdeen, so that all their names were still involved in the thing.
Well, if
That'd
I
be-
had a child, that's what I would have called
maybe I'll
it.
write some ABBA fan fiction
Oh,
in
that'd be a
which that
good
happens.
use of your time.
Yeah, I think so. There must
way to
be.
spend
Quite
your
weak,
days.
is it?
I wonder if there is ABBA fan fiction. I mean, that would
Yeah, there
would
will
be
be.
worth
There-
reading.
there will.
And fan art of them, getting their marriages back together
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I'm going to check that out. Give me a moment.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15. Many have, more will. Follow the Sun on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
At Frank on the radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Them's your options. Choose away.
Good options.
We've had a point of order I'd like to share
Order.
from Alison Black. She says, I cannot believe it.
Uh-oh.
It's not a stolen catchphrase.
Yeah.
Been studiously avoiding use of that American aberration invite in favour of the more genteel invitation. I think
Yeah.
I revealed once on the show, my father used to say, I think he said it to a bouncer once at a BBC party
Okay.
at a nightclub. He said, got an invite, and my father said, the word is invitation, invite is an American corruption.
Okay.
Okay, so Alison Black continues. This is something she's obviously enjoying, my father's legacy, as per Big Daddy's edict. And what did I just hear? What sort of invite is that? What's next? Lieutenant Skinner.
Ah. So it was you. You're the bad guy in this.
Did I say that?
You did say what kind of invite.
I mean, me of all people.
Yeah.
I apologise, Alison, and I appreciate you picking me up on that.
Oh, that's nice.
We used to have a pedant's corner, didn't we?
I think we.
Then we
Yeah,
realised
you're in it.
there were 4 of them. We were just yeah. Okay, it's good. Well done.
Okay.
Ali Black.
Well, another point of order. Frank and team, French Jesus, this email is entitled. We were
Okay.
discussing the movement
Is that,
of language.
Depeche Mode?
weren't we? Yeah, that's right.
Your own person, our own French.
I mean, I've no,
Reach out and touch me. That's not an invitation.
I've no proof of the veracity of this point. Just a radical thought. Maybe the French didn't influence Middle Eastern language because they wasn't around. So maybe, just maybe, Middle Eastern language influenced French. Cliff.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Good point. I love a bit of linguistics.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the show.
What's Big Daddy been up to?
Well, I went and saw a bit of art on Valentine's Day. That was our Valentine's Day outing.
Lovely.
Me and Kath went to the Dulwich Picture Gallery.
Oh,
Oh, it's
you
nice
used to
there.
live near there.
Oh, did you?
My
Very
old
nice around
stomping
there.
ground. Yeah, I didn't live
Your
in that
old
bit.
stomping ground. Were you in Slade?
I didn't live in that bit.
How did you find the Fringe?
Oh yeah,
I always struggled
tricky,
with that.
high maintenance.
It was, I'll tell you what it was. It was an exhibition by a bloke called Harold, and this is Harold, Harald.
Oh, so not Harold?
No. Harold? Don't leave me, Harold. No, not that. It was Harold Solberg, who's a Norwegian artist. So it was lots of...
What sort of stuff is it?
well, you know, it's all that mad Scandi stuff that you get like in Scandi Noir.
Oh, I see. Is he contemporary?
No.
Oh.
Is it
No
paintings
longer
or is it
with us.
sculpts?
No, it's paintings.
Oh, was it?
And there's...
I like sculpts. I don't know if I've ever used sculpts. Henry Moore, love your
You can have
sculpts.
that.
I don't know if I ever mentioned this on the show before. I'm slightly fascinated by mermaids.
Oh, yeah.
Part of me that thinks they might possibly exist.
Oh.
But he's done some mermaid paintings, Harold. And for the first time, they are slightly rough, the mermaids.
Oh.
Slightly more favouring the fish than the female, I would say.
All right.
They look a bit,
Seasick.
no, they look...
What do you mean? They look a bit like they've been in the fridge for a few days.
Yeah, they look a bit ropey. Like like really, the woman part of them has been slightly taken over by the scaly, slimy thing, which I like. They're not the sort of mermaids you'd
The
ask for
Disney.
directions.
No.
They looked untrustworthy mermaids is one of his motifs.
Is it?
I would say. And his other thing, he does. The Lonely Cottage painting. So there's
Yeah.
all these
Oh,
trees
yeah.
and that, and then in the distance there's one small. Do you ever do that on the train? I wonder who lives there.
Yeah.
I think when you see a house
Oh, yeah.
in the middle of nowhere. And I once walked. If anyone can help us on this, who lives anywhere near the Thames Path, me and Kath walked the Thames Path when she was pregnant, and we passed as we come into sort of West London, that bit along the river. There was the most dilapidated boat I've ever seen a boat that looked like it wouldn't float on land. It was in the middle of the river, and there was a small chimney with smoke coming out of it. All the windows were black and boarded up, and so I just thought, who?
Someone's got to know.
And then further on down, there was a caravan with a Cyberman outside.
Oh.
Not moving, but like a...
Did this happen last night in a dream?
No,
Yeah, yeah,
this
I was
is
just
a
wondering,
real
is this
thing.
real?
I would love to know who lives in those amazing places. Can I ask one other question?
Sure.
Have we got time? The fez is on the table. I'll ask it after.
Sure. I mean, we'll have to come back later because we have got this news just in from Christopher. My sieve handle has come off and I don't know what to do. But
Well,
we can
my
come
sieve
back.
handle's come off. There's something going on. There's definitely something going on.
Built-in obsolescence.
He's
on
talking
behalf
about
of the
drilling
sieve
holes into the
manufacturers.
saucepan.
No, but this feels to me like a national movement.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now, I want to ask a question which is it's a little bit southeast England, so forgive me if you're anywhere else, but I will broaden it in a second. But when we went to this exhibition, me and Kath got Thames Link,
Oh, yeah.
which is a train service.
Wonderful service.
But Kath said to me, Kath won't do the underground
All right.
for, sort of
That's not a
claustrophobia
euphemism.
reasons. So she said it doesn't go underground, does it? So I checked with my personal assistant. Well, I'll tell you what was really annoying is that we looked up Thames Link, and I put in things like Thames Link underground, ? Is Thames Link underground? And I could not get a straight... when Google doesn't deliver... It's one of the most infuriating... I've become so dependent. I don't look at Google if it's something I can't remember, only if I don't know. But if I don't know, I want to know from
Yes.
Google. I just couldn't get a straight... And it was being evasive.
I don't like that.
Really well... the time they spent making animations of women from the 1920s in lab coats and glasses who discovered formic acid...
Oh, yeah.
for their anniversary, when they could be having straight things. Is Thames Link an underground state? And they could not come up with an answer. And we was like half an hour on the internet. So we got on it. I still don't know. I still don't know whether it was tunnels or whether we were actually underground. But I think Google, we've come to depend on it, and it's an unreliable aid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you could be right.
I
Thanks.
bet there's an app for that, though. I bet there's an app for people that don't like being underground that they can just put in their route and... That's
Well,
my
I
guess.
think. Do you think we?
I think there's an app for everything.
Oh, there's an app for everything. I was in the garden with a friend last summer, and a plane flew over.
in the garden.
A plane flew over, and somebody said, "I wonder where that's going." Something you don't often hear said. I haven't heard said since my childhood about planes. But somebody said, "I wonder where that's going," and she just held up an app to the sky at this thing, and it said where the plane was going.
Wow.
Very specialist app.
Yeah.
Track my plane.
Who cares where the plane is going?
Is that app called I Live Under a Flight Path? I'm trying to make the best of it.
What would you call that app? Is it a plane?
I'd do a plane called... The only time I care where a plane's going is if it's heading towards my house. But there is an app for everything.
Well, I think we have a lack of tolerance now for the unknown. We want guarantees before every journey. We need to know when the cab's going to arrive, etc. Okay, that's my little thought for the day.
I liked that. I enjoyed that. I think there's more wisdom in that than you'd get in Capital Radio in 12 months. I would like to know
Not
if anyone
enough comedy,
knows that.
though.
Does Thameslink go? I mean, actually being on it, is that a roof or are we underground? She was getting very anxious. Of course, I was getting anxious.
Yeah.
And I think my PA knew her job was hanging by a thread.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Nick Coy has got in touch.
Oh, yeah.
Normally bashful.
What's he... Yeah, I was going to say, what's he carping about?
Well,
we came from two different angles.
the auspices are good because his Twitter handle
Well, that's
is
what the vet told me.
the Stat Monster. Now, I don't know about you, but anyone called a Stat Monster, I suspect they know their onions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He has news on Thameslink.
Okay.
Thameslink goes, brackets, intermittently. I'm giving that tone, but I think it's one he would have liked. Underground from just after Blackfriars to just after St Pancras. It's pretty scary, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Very good.
Someone else has said that.
Hold on, so is it a tunnel?
Yeah, it
goes
It's what
underground.
So they're not at ground level with stuff built over them. They literally go underground.
Well, 285 has said that they think it uses a very old Northern Line tunnel.
Oh.
Oh, I love that you know that.
How do
info.
you get a very old Northern Line tunnel?
I think it's just
It's like the Northern
spare.
Line suddenly says I'm going a different way and not
Yeah,
using that
I think
anymore.
that's what's happened.
Anyway, look, I'm sorry for people who don't
Exactly.
live in London because this has gone a bit southeast.
Even I will apologise.
Yes.
Well, we can easily make it more accessible. A quick email entitled
the Stockport
Anglo-Saxon
Viaduct.
Exhibition.
Oh, yes.
Frank, in capitals, with an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to the BL's, British Library's Anglo-Saxon exhibition today. Is that
Brilliant.
correct? British Libraries?
Absolutely brilliant.
Very excited, especially because I found out this week that the corrections for my PhD in Anglo-Saxon history have been accepted. So I'm going to the exhibition as a doctor of
Wowee.
Anglo-Saxon studies.
Wow.
Couldn't ask for a better reward. Very pleased to hear that you're a fellow fan of early medieval history. Emma.
That's brilliant. Emma.
Hats off, Emma. Hats
Yeah.
That's fantastic, Emma.
Can I just say, I don't wish to name drop, but a friend of mine got in touch recently regarding the Lewis chess set, and his mother brought the Lewis chess set over to the public, I believe. She did it, it would have been like in the 70s or something. She owned the franchise for the Lewis chess set games.
Oh,
Okay, not the
okay.
actual pieces, sorry.
All right.
But what I liked is that he had loads of Lewis chess set merchandise. He wore a pendant, apparently, with a knight. I said, wasn't it heavy? He said, no, it was flat, a flattened knight.
Oh.
And Omar Sharif once appeared at the Birmingham Trade Fair
Omar Sharif?
to promote the Lewis chess set.
Did he really?
Yeah, and Rod Stewart bought a Waterloo chess set. Thank you.
Did he?
That's my friend Simon, yeah.
Rod Stewart plays chess.
Waterloo themed.
Yeah, that's hard to picture, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Still. like silk trousers, I'm thinking. And
Military trouser, I can see him in that, Frank.
so that's interesting, isn't it? Also, Emma, the Anglo-Saxonist, going to the exhibition. I wonder if she's going to be saying, "Oh well, actually," you know, when an expert goes to anything.
Yeah, we've all had enough of experts, Emma.
Yeah, reading things off the wall, saying, "Well, you say that, but."
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Michael Gove went. He'd been to a museum with an expert and he was fed up with them.
Well, I always
Fair
used to
enough.
say that if I ever done that, that Virgin, what's the one that goes to space?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, the Challenger, was it?
Virgin
No.
Interstellar or something
Yes.
like that. I'm not Interstellar anymore.
Don't you remember when I met Richard Branson? I put you up for it.
Yeah, when I said I didn't want to be on with, God rest his soul, obviously, though he doesn't think he has one, Professor Stephen Hawking.
Yes.
Because though he's a great genius, was a great genius, imagine the... No, I think I won't do the voice. I think you'll find that,
Right.
that is not the Milky Way. It's actually...
And no all quality.
It's actually a byline of the Omega incident, which... Yes, all right! No, can I get peanuts?
It gets old.
Yeah.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Matt Cutler has said it's overground at Farringdon, which is between Blackfriars and St Pancras. I'm literally on it now, fuming with that guy who claims to be the king of trivia or whatever it was. Now, to be fair, he was called the Stat Monster.
Yeah.
He didn't claim anything. I gave him that handle, really. I
okay.
handed over. I bestowed that title upon him.
He's the stats monster. He is to stats what the honey monster is to honey, yeah?
I don't think we should get too heavily into train routes as a general broadcasting tip.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Okay. But I
do-
genuinely wanted to know. I still... Okay, it did go underground.
I do, however, want to get heavily...
How am I going to broach this with my personal assistant who absolutely assured me it didn't go underground?
Well, I mean, it's a common issue a lot of people are having this morning.
It's difficult, though, because, I mean, you know, Kath was genuinely alarmed when it went underground.
But it turned out fine, so she could use that.
Turned out nice again. Right, anyway, let's move on.
Well,
There's no time to be discussing HR.
Can we disappear into the furry embrace of the Gruffalo? Not
Well,
to be
you wouldn't want
confused
to.
with popular comedian Janine Gruffalo.
Who I worked with last year.
Did you?
I did.
Didn't we have her on
Worked with them all.
the radio show many years ago?
Wasn't her. It was someone who'd, I think, once dated her.
Weren't we going to have her and she pulled out or something like that?
That sounds
yes.
very possible.
Okay.
Frank, you're absolutely
So
right.
we got
It was
a
during
boyfriend.
Edinburgh.
We got an ex-boyfriend she pulled out. I mean, that's the line of command we follow. Okay.
So it was announced, I don't know if you saw this, but it was announced that the Royal Mint are going to release a special Gruffalo 50p coin. Did you see that?
Yes.
I tell you a weird thing
Love it.
about this. I read this in the Daily Mirror about this, and they began after the roaring success of the Paddington Snowman and Peter Rabbit coins. I thought, was that a roaring success?
Passed me by those.
A roaring success was like Love Island or something like that. Everyone
Yeah.
was, the bodyguard. Everyone was talking about it.
Bodyguard was big.
I don't remember saying, wow! You seen those?
Those 50 pences.
Paddington 50 pence. I mean, everybody's talk about watercooler
Water
currency.
cooler moment.
Water cooler moment.
Water cooler
I like
currency.
the idea of people coming into work saying, hey, have you seen the Paddington?
Just getting their
50
wallets out and looking
Yeah.
through for 50 pences.
Ow, the rendering on those Wellingtons.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything
And
like
the guy,
it.
you're in a shop and someone says, there's your change. They go, yes! Yes! Jemima Puddle Duck!
You shouted
No,
out.
I don't think it was a roaring. I mean, it's fine. I was pleased. I got...
Yeah, I don't remember
When you
it.
say please.
when I got a couple. I got lucky.
Did you?
Paddington?
I got a Paddington. Still
You
got it.
never.
Shut up.
Yes.
Do you know, I've never even seen a Paddington. Has he got
Well,
wellies?
I'll bring it in next week.
Oh, shut
What do you
up.
mean has he got wellies? No, he's completely naked in it.
Well, he
Naked.
is. Oh, what? He's got one coat.
The terrible thing
He
is
is naked,
he's
actually.
tearing apart a hunter. I mean, it's not typical of Paddington at all, the shot they've gone for. It's very, B-sides and other tracks album.
He's trapped in one look forever. And that's my
Yeah.
idea of hell.
Yeah.
You've got to wear a duffel coat when he's 70.
But, I was excited to get a Paddington. I'll tell you what I got. I'll give you the full. I got 3. I got Paddington Bear.
How old are you?
I got Peter Rabbit. And then when I say I got Peter Rabbit, I actually got Peter Rabbit. I did get Mrs. Tiggywinkle, first of all.
Right.
But it's a bit like when it used to be have Esso World Cup coins, and there were some players who were very much squad players who were never going to play in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about Mrs. Tiggywinkle. But when I got Peter Rabbit proper, I was quite excited.
And did you purchase these from the Royal Mint?
No,
you got them as
I
change?
got them in change, yeah.
Wow.
They had, was there a Sherlock Holmes one as well, I believe?
I couldn't find that one.
No,
I had to get
there's-
me magnifying glass.
He's got jokes.
And Samuel Pepys.
Does he? Do you know Samuel Pepys? No, but it's the last time I'm getting changed round his house.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
Samuel Pepys, straight round there.
So this is going to sound vulgar
Be a
for anybody
peeping
that's
Sam.
just joining the show. Frank's talking about his money.
Is that sound vulgar?
No, it does, because
I see what
they
you
might
mean.
not know that you're discussing your collection of coins.
Well, it's not really
It's the start of a collection, if you ask me.
It's the most. I think it's the most impressed I've ever seen you by one of my stories. You said, "Well, you had to hold on. You got this
Yeah.
in your change."
Yeah,
Wow.
all the off-air gossipy ones, not even raised an eyebrow, but once it's about collectible 50
Once it's about the old
pences-
money. What about when Faye revealed that did you own a coloured coin, or you'd seen one? No, she shook her head. No. But the coloured coins are...
Faye's the assistant producer. I
Yes,
should
she
say.
is, sorry. Extraordinary.
Is it?
Wow.
Yes,
Can you imagine having a coloured coin in your possession?
I've got brown ones and some silver ones. Is that-
No, like the Paddington has got a red wellies and
Were
a
coins?
blue
Were they all
coat.
painted in the early days?
Yes.
You know when people say,
Right.
statues, of course they were all painted in the early days. There was coins all done. We could paint our own coins.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same, is it?
Those coins, though, the coloured Paddington coins,
Extraordinary.
they don't crop up in change. You have to buy them.
Is that
from
right?
From the mint.
Oh, is that right? The Royal Mint?
The mint. What's the mint? What do the mint? Can I ask you this? What do
Yes.
the Royal Mint spend their profits on from
And
these
can I
sales?
say they're loaded, the Royal Mint?
Exactly.
They
Why
must put
do
it
they?
back into coins, surely.
Well,
Do you think they just put it
Yeah.
into circulation? The money comes.
what else do they do? Well, they
You
made
have
the
to-
Olympic medals for 2012,
Did they?
and I think they make all the Queen when she gives out the knighthoods, Frank. Just
Do they
saying.
make those?
Yes, I believe so.
All right.
Well, I didn't know they were soiling their hands for that kind of stuff.
But you got yours in change, your collectible ones.
Why do you
That's-
question me on
No, I'm
this?
just interested,
Yes,
because
but if you
it totally
check your
passed
change.
me by. I should check my change more often.
Yeah, I
You'd
was.
think
I
I was
suspect you
doing-
do that quite often. Let's be honest, Frank.
But Mrs. Tiggywinkle,
I'm not in there
How
looking
dare
for
you?
collectibles.
Not at that stage
you
yet.
could grate cheese on the Mrs. Tiggywinkle relief. But it's borderline advertising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because the new one, the Gruffalo. I mean, the Gruffalo is a book. It's got merchandise. Isn't it a bit like a 50p advertising
I
a
think you're
franchise?
Well, I'll
You're
tell you
right.
what. I think if we'd have won, if England had won in the last summer,
Oh.
I think there might have been talk, I'm just saying, of a little Chesterfield sofa, a 50p, and
The Deal and
skin a
Skin
bit.
on there.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
good.
I don't,
you
I don't
imagine
think
that?
I don't think they'd go for it. There was talk of a Harry Kane £5 note. We talked about it,
There
didn't we?
was, yeah. But I think
Imagine you and David. Oh, I would have loved his little glasses in
We
the
were-
relief.
We've been on. We were on a crisp packet once, me and Dave, on a sofa.
Oh, yes.
I'd say that's
I
as
can
close,
imagine that.
close as we've got to being on the actual currency.
Legal tender.
So yeah, it's the Paddington. The thing is with it, like I said, I think they should stick to the main characters.
Yeah.
Who were they?
Well,
You don't want
Mrs.
supporting artists.
Mrs. Tiggy Winkle, I was pleased to get it, but I wasn't thrilled.
Right, yeah.
I mean, were you even pleased?
Like
to
with
be
Paddington,
honest?
I don't want a Mr. Gruber 50
Yeah.
pence.
You don't want the obscure Oscars.
What you're saying is
No,
you want
Judy Brown. Come off it.
you want Top Cat. You don't want Jude.
I want top. Why don't they bring a Top Cat one out on a string?
Oh, that's a good idea. Full of them,
Come
aren't
on,
you?
Royal Mint, you can have that if you're listening. They should definitely do that. That would be brilliant.
Could I request them? Could I go to my bank and say I'd like to withdraw £1,000, please, in collectible 50 pences?
Can I say, so far they've done
Snowman.
They've done the Snowman, Raymond Briggs,
Yeah.
Yeah,
a white person from London, Julia Donaldson,
Oh, yeah.
right.
the Gruffalo, white person from London,
Born in Hampstead.
Beatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit, white person from London, and who was the other one? Paddington Bear, A.A. Milne, white person born in London.
No,
Just
not
saying.
Emil, was it? Mike. Oh, anyway.
A.A. Milne was Winnie the Pooh, wasn't he?
Yeah, I
oh,
think
I've got
Paddington
that
Bear.
wrong.
No, but
Oh.
Paddington Bear was white person from London.
Oh, okay. thank-
Michael, fill in the
Yeah,
gap.
there's a theme. There's a theme that they're not publicising quite so much. Is that you have to be a white person from London to get your character on a coin. Okay, I'm just saying it. Everyone's gone a bit tense, but as you know, comedian activist.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We're talking about the Gruffalo.
Hold on.
commemorative
Oh no,
coin.
sorry, I have to do my.
Oh, I'm
housekeeping.
sorry,
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah.
It's perfectly all right. This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. There ought to be a way of making Dean rhyme with 15. I'll give some thought to my scansion.
Yeah. I've spiralled into a gloom since we've been talking about these coins because
no.
it turns out that I might have had several of them in my change and inadvertently spent them.
Bound to us.
It's not like you to
Got
stress
it.
over money.
I'm gutted about it.
But what happens if we all keep these 50 pences? Isn't that the very antithesis of what the Royal Mint is supposed to
point.
do?
Good.
Oh, I
Send things
see.
into circulation.
Oh, I dare
Yeah.
say we'll have an economist texting the show eventually.
Well,
telling
you
us
say-
I've got
economy-
two
Fiat
Samuel
currency.
Johnsons,
Oh, I've heard.
50
Have you?
pences, and a Charles Dickens 50 pence.
You might be
I
sitting
haven't
on a
spent any of
fortune
them.
there in
No, I don't think
Skinner
so.
Towers.
Can
I
I?
don't think so.
You referred to
I can't.
economy.
Be honest with you, I can't
economist.
be bothered to check.
Wowee. I mean,
Go
I
on.
understand when it comes to the coppers, but with the silvers.
Well, you can't trust
Yeah.
the coppers like the old time. No, you
Ah.
can't trust the
No.
specials like the
Good.
old time
Okay.
coppers.
Go on, Emily. What were
I
you gonna say?
noticed that
You
in
had
the
a question.
Sun, they said the Gruffalo coin will be released from February the 19th, according to Money Boffins.
Oh,
I like the idea that who are the Money Boffins, and do they have those visors on like in the old films?
well, I
What do
presume
you
that.
think they look like, Money Boffins?
I bet they've got one of those eyepieces that you can bring. They'd have a jeweller's eyepiece for looking at coinage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like the sounds of. It's the last thing I'd want to be really into is money. I think like
It
that.
is kind of a weird subject that can fry your head, though, isn't it? Like the idea that these 50 pences might be worth £104.
No, that can't be right.
I was in New Zealand a long time ago, and
Were
I
you?
said to another comedian that was on at the
That's not
festival.
the weirdest part of the
What
anecdote.
Yeah.
a life he's had.
Like I was like a day or two into the trip, and I said, "So how much is Kiwi dollars worth compared to a pound?" And he said something like, "Well, a pound is 2 Kiwi dollars, but because you live in London, it'll be more like 3." And it really fried my head. I was like, "Well, how are they
Yes.
going to know where I live when I'm spending it in the shops?" Like,
And you lived in London, you say?
I lived in London, yeah,
Well,
been around
it's
me.
been one. It's just been like one revelation wrapped in another, like a
I have been-
a babushka doll based on Alan Cochrane's life. Wow! Is there anything else?
Do you know what I laugh out? He reacted to you once being in New Zealand a bit like when I think your Nora was dating someone with a car, Frank, and
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
came out of the house in the street.
That's right. We
to
all
have
went.
a look.
We all went. It's a second-hand Mini, but we all went out to have a look at it.
Sounds
car.
good.
A car
Yeah.
we can actually. It's the first time I've ever been in a car.
Yeah.
So he let us go inside it as well. I don't think it was actually moving,
No.
but it was moving emotionally.
On bricks.
Yeah, we didn't kick the tyres in case.
Can I
in case you
say,
wondered.
some of these anniversaries are a bit spurious as well, though.
You think?
Well, that's 60 years of Paddington.
Yeah.
60, a big
oh,
deal.
the big
40
60.
years.
It never stopped me. Never stopped me dreaming. How would the song have gone if we'd said 60 years of Paddington? Who cares about? Why bring that up?
40 years of The Snowman.
Oh, yeah.
150 of Beatrix Potter. I just find it a bit... 27 years since the last episode of Howard's Way.
Yeah.
Is that the next coin?
I think 150 years is a perfectly reasonable anniversary, isn't it?
350 years since Samuel Pepys' last diary entry?
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on.
But I
They
mean,
said
at least you can be fairly precise on the date with that one. That's one of the pluses.
They said in this article that the Gruffalo is 20, so I think he's moved out of the deep dark wood and he's at uni.
Yeah.
I don't. I've got to
In his
confess,
second
I've
year at
never read
Loughborough.
The Gruffalo. Now, it's because I don't have, as you know, I forgot to have children, but
Yeah.
I... as Gruffalo, I mean, I assume you two are familiar with the
Oh, yes.
Gruffalo.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Well, what's his vibe? I mean, I don't really understand much about him as a character.
Well, he's a menacing character. I mean, he's an interesting choice for a coin because he's a tremendous physical threat
Yeah, he's
in the dark wood.
But this is what I mean. Is he, he's aesthetically quite challenged. I think we can all agree. Is that part of his his narrative arc? Or
Well,
is that...
he needs to be frightening.
Okay.
But the story is something I've always held on to, and it's a common trope. And if you meet writers, you can see why. The story suggests that thin and frail individuals are more intelligent than big, strong ones. No disrespect, Al. Present company accepted.
what am I, thin and frail?
No, you're big and strong.
I don't think
You
so.
are. I am the little mouse to your Gruffalo, basically.
What does that make
So
me?
the
Some sort of Mrs. Tiggywinkle character.
So the idea is that the clever, but fragile and vulnerable little mouse is able to fool others by his
yeah.
David and
sharp,
Goliath
razor-sharp
principle, yeah.
intelligence.
He does outsmart me. I mean, him at the end, doesn't he?
Of course,
Or
he'd have hated Samuel Pepys, the little mouse, because I seem to remember Samuel Pepys buried an enormous cheese during the Great Fire of
That's
London.
right.
He thought it was going to melt.
That's right.
There you go. Tie the ends together, now we can relax.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens, Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.
Gruffalo has a portmanteau name, does
Oh, Gruffalo soldiers. Sorry.
he? Is it part grizzly bear, I assumed, part buffalo?
If you had one of those, those sandwich things that cook sandwiches.
A toaster.
Not a toaster,
grill,
one that
a
you
grill.
sort of press down.
Yeah.
Oh, like a...
If you had one of them,
Sandwich press.
yeah, if you could have one that
Lovely, yeah.
patterned the Gruffalo, you could make Gruffalo soldiers to put in your
Yeah.
You could.
soft-boiled eggs and then sing the Bob Marley song as you did it. That's worth thinking about.
Okay.
If you're doing a children's party, you can have that.
There's no trouble to go to either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I just think it's a rather... If it's grizzly bear it's based on, is this it? Why is he... Or is it just a
Grizzly bear
made-up...
and buffalo. I think it's just a made up.
Oh,
But
okay,
obviously
fine.
there's elements of that to...
Okay.
And Groff, Billy Goat's
yes,
Groff,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, there's quite a lot of...
Yeah.
And the low, what with the Nazis as
Hello.
a threat in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that in it.
I
Would
like
you
it.
recommend it?
like it a lot.
ELO, I think, because it's the classical aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recommend it, though?
You
I would-
reference it
yes.
though, don't you?
Well, this is what I mean. I talk about it all the time.
You've mentioned Gruffalo on the show several times.
Someone with bad teeth, I will say Gruffalo.
Right.
Because they actually do say terrible teeth, I believe.
Yellow teeth, I think,
Yeah.
is one of the things, yeah.
But I've never
Yeah.
read it. And I need to stop doing that.
No, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
that's allowed.
Oh, is
I
it?
think
Okay.
some things get a foothold. In fact, I made a note of this the other day because I referenced the film 28 Days Later,
Oh, yes.
which I've never seen.
Oh,
I haven't seen it. I
yes.
just said, it's going to be like 28 days later because I knew roughly what the film was.
I've
I
had dinner with the female star of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'll watch it then.
Yeah, watch it.
That's my benchmark.
Yeah, you watch it.
I also do that with I See Dead People. Still not seen it.
Oh, do you?
You know the film?
Well.
I
These
saw
films
it.
are such a time commitment, whereas the Gruffalo,
Yes.
I reckon you could read
Could
the
you think I
Gruffalo
could
in
get through
about
it?
a minute and a half.
If
Could I?
I ever change my name by
Teach you
deed
speed
poll,
reading.
I'm going to change my name to Ian Christopher Dead People. So then my name will be I See Dead People.
You know what? I really can't believe you would do that. That is the sort of thing
Could
you
change
do.
it back once I've got all the laughs out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you would. I think you'd so enjoy the
The
laughs.
gift that keeps on giving.
The Sun
My
said.
name, it's Icy.
Now the Mirror said they haven't said what the design will be for the Gruffalo kind, but they expect it to use an iconic picture of the Gruffalo.
Right.
It said maybe the one from the cover of the book. I thought this is pure speculation. And also, of course, they're going to use an
Yeah.
iconic. You're not going to get him just leaving frame. One of him with his eyes shut, caught,
Really arty
unexpected.
shot.
Yeah, it's not like a paparazzi shot of the Gruffalo. Of course, it's going to be iconic. It's on a coin.
How
He hates
different?
getting past
Also,
the
let's be
Gruffalo.
honest. How different does the Gruffalo? I mean, does he have a good side and a
No.
good angle?
No, he's all bad side.
I
No,
think for
it's-
people with bad teeth, that's positive though.
Look, can I say, if there's anyone listening who looks like the Gruffalo, don't take it
Don't call
to
me.
heart. And according to our research, we're talking about between 25 and 30% of the listeners. And black tour T-shirts. How else is it? And
Converse trainers.
No, I think Dunlop Green Flashes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tesco Levi's. Yes, we were speaking lightheartedly about the Gruffalo's appearance. It's what's inside that counts, as with the Naval Orange.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
On the coins front, I went with my child to buy some match attacks. Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
They're popular football collecting cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the paninis.
And,
Yeah.
pardon?
And they like the paninis.
Yes. Except they're hard cardboard.
Okay. You paused
you
as if
can
I'd said
imagine-
a bad thing.
No, I misheard.
Okay.
So,
Heavens.
what had happened is that Boz had opened his pig. You know, his saving
Piggy
pig.
bank.
Piggy
Oh,
bank,
right.
yeah. I couldn't remember what they were called.
I heard it described quite like that. You made it sound
Saving-
like some
it's saving pig.
animal autopsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that programme when they used to open big animals up? What was it called? Do you remember it?
Oh yes, I do remember
Like
that.
they'd cut
There's a whale
an
or
ox
shot, yeah.
open or something like that. No, it was the animal autopsy.
Might have been.
Anyway, it wasn't that. It was a piggy bank, and he had 3 quid's worth of pennies and tuppences.
Yeah.
So we went down to the shop down the road, and because Match Attack football cards are a pound a packy.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, and he turned up, and he put an enormous. It was in a bag.
Oh.
All these pennies and it's like the Weimar Republic, you know, when
They were carrying it around in supermarkets.
yeah,
the money.
like money has completely lost its thing. And also it made me think, every now and again in the newspapers, there's a story of a. It's usually a man. I think it's always a man who pays a tax bill or a traffic thing in coins to be a. I can't think of a word I can say on
An annoyance.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say
to
an
be a
annoyance.
deliberate annoyance.
Troll.
Yeah.
And I'm a very big fan of the recurring themes in news. We used to do a thing, foreign objects in food. Like
Yes,
people found
yes.
a rat's head in crisps and stuff like that. Very fat cat used to be another.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was a big smoking monkey, less so, but was quite a big theme. Smoking monkey. But
So he's in the shop. with
actually, if
the-
anyone else has got any
Recurring news stories.
The recurring news
Yes.
tropes, 8, 12, 15. I'd love to, because they are
The
very
nice ones.
Yeah, they're very satisfying though. Those.
You're absolutely right, though. It's the person challenging the parking
Yeah,
ticket.
the sort of stroppy bloke
Yeah.
pays in coins. Anyway,
It's the equivalent. Sorry, Frank. I was going to say it's the equivalent of when I say fine.
But this was the shop, if you remember, where I bought extra strong mints, and it said not to be sold individually.
Oh.
Where he'd been split in Maltese. And if you split the Maltese, and then if the person who's bought one of the Maltese full price comes in
Yes.
with a big pile of coins, I think you scratch my card, as the
Yeah.
news agents would say. I'll
Yeah.
scratch yours. Although he's going to probably repaints,
Yeah.
judged by the. Has that ever been a scam? That people have repainted with silver paint scratch cards.
Oh.
If you had remember when those potato print things, when you used to cut a shape out of potato and then
Yes.
print, I think you could completely restructure a scratch card and sell it again.
With a bit
There
of silver
have been
paint.
a spate. I'm
Spin a
using
spade,
spate
a Johnny Spade.
in relation. Oh, lovely, Frank.
Yeah.
In relation to the scratchies of false claims, people
Yes.
doctoring
Yeah.
the number.
Yeah.
It's happened. I think it's a thing that
False
people do
claim.
now.
When I hear false claims, I think of the old timer penning for gold. That's what I think of. Anyway, he accepted it, and he got his 3 things. And the man, and what we did is we left the money. We went to church, and when we got back, he finished counting them, and he gave him the 3 packets. Of,
Oh, that's nice.
How was his recepzione, to the coins in the bags? Did he say, oh, no worries? Was he upset?
I
about
think
it?
he smiled. You know the way people smile at children in a sort of that kind. He did
Oh,
that.
lovely. Good,
Yeah,
I
it was-
like him.
If he
Yeah.
counted those coins whilst you were at church and it was all done as you got back from church, does that mean that he counted them at Godspeed? You're not sure about that?
No, it's fine. I'm happy with that.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Okay, we've just heard from Phil from Barnsley. Not
Phil from
not
Barnsley?
not Phil Barnsley. Hey, Frank, I've just got a Paddington 50p. You do know there are 2 different ones.
I didn't know it already in the mirror.
One is waving a flag outside Buckingham Palace, and the other is on the train station platform.
They're both Brexit themed.
We've also had 345 texting. Nature's Giants was the programme Frank was alluding to.
Ah, yes,
Meaning the,
Nature's Giants. But Animal Autopsy would have been better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Often I find the mistake is better than the actual thing.
And 393, don't think that I haven't seen your complaint about me giving away the ending of the Gruffalo and requesting a spoiler alert klaxon. Sorry about that.
I think. Didn't quite. Give
What with
it
it
away.
being a 20-sentence long book, I just thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
There is a sequel, of course, that we haven't mentioned.
What's it called?
Gruffalo's Child.
He has children.
Yeah, well, he has 8 children. There's no sign of any. He's a single parent.
Yeah.
What's the... Okay, so what's the
I
system
think the
there?
Gruffalo's Child is what they used to call in the papers a test tube baby, or like maybe there was a donor, a surrogate mother, perhaps.
I wondered if it might be like Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. He could be his ward.
That's right.
He might have got a ward.
Whatever happened to the ward?
I don't know. I haven't met a ward.
Do you know? And it was a Victorian conceit. Well, I always associate it with the sort of
Well,
Miss Havisham had a ward.
I always associate
Jane
it with
Eyre.
Dick Grayson. I don't think I can think of another one.
Well, I always think of it with sort of 19th century lit. They would have the ward, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? There would be a sent to stay with someone.
Millionaire Bruce Wayne and his ward.
He
Dick
had a
Grayson.
ward.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm.
So the Gruffalo essentially has a ward with him.
He has a ward. It ought to be called the Gruffalo's ward.
Does the
Till-
Gruffalo look like the Gruffalo? The child, sorry.
He's slimmer.
Oh, a slim Gruffalo.
Yeah,
Call
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We can sort the wart out. I know a great woman.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that you can see. You can see the parents. It can't be its ward, actually, because it
No,
looks like.
no,
Although
it's-
there are species.
Where's the mother?
Suppose.
Come on.
I
That's a
don't
good
know the
question.
answer.
That
to
might be a book that's forthcoming.
Okay.
Gruffalo's mum.
Gruffalo's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's the surrogate, the Gruffalo surrogate bride. I think is Julia Donaldson's.
I think she said she found the Gruffalo's mum a difficult one to write because there was a lot of legal stuff about the divorce.
Yeah, poor old
Who was getting
Julia.
custody. It was just getting her really down,
I'll tell you something.
let alone the rhyming couplets.
No, I'm sorry. I asked I can't communicate. I'm just going to ask you, how long we got left, generally speaking?
Extraordinary.
Yes.
About a minute of this link, then one more.
Sorry, but I
just say?
I tried miming and signals,
innit,
and
aren't we?
honestly,
Do you know
it was
what
like,
happened?
she looked at me like one would look at a wardrobe in a second-hand furniture shelf. I got nothing coming back at all.
This is George Lineker would describe this as absolute scenes on
Yes.
Absolute Radio.
Well, this is absolute scenes. No, I just remembered something else about coins.
Oh, yeah.
But shall we begin it, or how long's the last bit?
Last bit, we've got 4 minutes.
4 minutes, that'll do it. See, all I need is a target. Simple as that. As
You'll
Carlos
find
the
one of
Jackal
those.
once told me. God, he was a raconteur and a half.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
You were asking for repetitive news stories that pop up.
Well, repeating rather than repetitive.
Oh, all right, repeating, yes.
Yeah.
We've had an email in saying big spiders found in a bunch of bananas.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Although I found
still
one,
alive, I think.
an ex-girlfriend of mine bought me a cactus back from holiday. It was a metaphor, but there was a big spider in that. Luckily,
Really?
it had passed away, but
Oh.
thank God it was a real biggie.
I thought they were using the euphemism to be sensitive to the spider's existing
Well,
family members.
Yeah, I thought of it. It's no. The other coin thing I thought of is I found in a drawer. I think it was 11 pound coins of the previous manifestation.
Oh, yeah.
So not the new pound coins.
Much
Lovely.
bigger.
Well, they're not
Were they-
much.
I felt they were
They're heavier?
chunkier. Yeah, definitely heavier and more sort of medieval.
But I thought, I've missed the sell by. I missed the spend by date on these.
Have you then? Is that it?
So, well, I was I was going to put them in the bin. It's very hard to throw.
That's a real...
Very hard to throw money in the bin.
Yeah.
Remind me, what used to be a thing when I was a kid. Speaking of newspaper tropes, it used to be every now and again you'd get like a millionaire lighting a cigar with a £5 note, which I think they made illegal in the end, that you can't burn the currency. But so I had these things. I thought, well, I don't know what to. I couldn't throw them away.
No.
I thought I could keep them for scratch cards,
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh,
example,
yeah.
especially, or for any big decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to toss a coin, it's a big decision. It's like if you're in a duel. If I was in a duel,
Yeah.
I'd want flintlocks.
Yeah.
Because you want it to be an event.
Yeah.
So if
Your
I was
sense
going
of
to,
occasion.
so if I was going to, buy a
gonna
house
lose a
or
life.
not buy a house, to have these coins specially for that, I thought might be a.
Yeah.
Anyone ever been involved
Oh.
in a duel? 8, 12, 15.
Talking of houses, Frank, I've just thought that's a local news story.
What's
is
that?
the narrowest house. They do
Oh.
the narrowest house
That is
in
a
the
good
county.
news
You know
story,
that?
Yeah.
Anyway, it turned out, good news.
Yes.
I took them to the bank and they gave me new pound coins for them still.
Excellent.
So they're still. Oh, it was like.
Oh.
It was like Gary Barlow.
I was
One
gonna
minute they
suggest that.
were nearly in the bin, and the next minute they were bright and sparkling again. It
I was also going to suggest a metal drill and just drill a hole and make a little necklace with them, but
that would have.
that's me. I'm creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a story
really
on it. Do you remember the
creative.
story about a man who paved his garage floor
I
with,
do, yeah.
with coins? But there weren't. I mean, like I said, I think there was 11.
There were 2 pence and 1
Yeah,
pence.
I couldn't have paved. I couldn't have paved a canary cage.
No.
I could have built quite a nice little staircase for a canary up to the perch.
Oh, it would have been nice.
Yeah, looking back, but they're spent now.
But 8 quid's 8 quid, isn't it?
11 quid.
What was it, 11?
I mean, it might not have made the stairs. It depends on the age of the bird. But anyway, we're not going to.
Not first time I've heard that. First time I heard you say that.
Exactly. I've always got up the stairs in the past. Anyway.
I made the joke, it's all right.
Yes, it's all right. Don't worry. Don't panic anymore.
I can say it.
Nothing bad has gone on. It's nothing to see. Just move along. Move along. We've got the police tape around that remark. Something's happened to my voice.
You're sounding a bit Gruffalo.
I do feel a bit. Sarah's given me a glass of water. There's precisely 8 seconds to go on the show. By the time I've drunk it, there'll be no time to say goodbye. Hold on.
Secret advert for water. This is a sponsored advert.
That's
water.
Don't advertise Paddington Bear or the Gruffalo on coins. Wasn't it? The Pepsi fiver. So look, thank you so much for listening today. And when we're not funny, we're interesting, and that's something you can all take away as a general rule for life. So if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Toodaloo.
Get your weekly Frank fix. Listen to the show as it happens on Saturday morning from 8 until 11 with more music and fewer ads with the Absolute Radio app.